everybody. Season well, who, what, when, where, and why we do in the shadows. I have stopped counting seasons because I don't know how to after Corona cartoons. But I am so excited to be back with the majority of the people that we've been doing this before and a new face or two. I'm out of words already. I'm so excited to actually be talking about this show and I guess movie today. But I can't do that, of course, without all of my lovely co-hosts. And we got a new lovely batch of nicknames for all of you. We have Joel Blade DeWitte.
I'm okay with that. That's, yeah, you gave me the Wesley Snipes character. I'm okay with that.
I did. I'm starting out very nice. And then we also have... Nah, fuck it. I'm taking it. We have Matt, Zombie Dog, Spike, Dykes.
That works.
Yeah. It's still kind of dog-themed, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see there's dogs out there called Spike, definitely.
Yeah, there's like the go-to cartoon name for dogs in the 90s for like every cartoon show. Or at least
Tom and Jerry and
yeah, Spike all over the place. And also
I am
Buffy.
done trying to do the I am done trying to get like talking dog things to say though, because it turns out there's not a lot of talking dog characters which are not just actors' voices.
I think
it's okay. I think it peaked.
What with the first one?
Yeah, we did it once. We're done now. And then of course, Graham unfortunately can't be here today. He's still, going nuts with all life. So good for Graham, but we'll see you on the podcast sooner or later. But sliding in over from Demon Days, we have Drew, Eric, Northman, Stanton.
It's Staton, but yeah.
Oh my God.
I'll take it. It's okay. Everybody does it because my first name is actually Andrew, but my friends call me Drew. So please call me Drew. But because it's Andrew, everyone always follows it up with Stanton, and I'm like, no. That's the Pixar guy. He's got enough money. Stop misspelling my fucking checks.
Well, at least I don't have to send you a check that'll be misspelled. Right?
It's okay. My bank is like, yeah, absolutely.
Wait, we're not getting paid for this?
No, Matt, your checks are still in the mail.
Not.
They just can't make it to England for some reason.
Oh. You got paid, but it's only for the company store, so any merchandise for the hype is what you can pay for it on.
Yeah, and
why do we not have merch?
So...
Seriously, why do we not have merch? I would love a Binge Buddies t-shirt.
Go ahead and make one. Anyhow, Drew, thank you so much for coming over. Sorry for fucking up your last name. I was going to re-record it, but no, I need to wear my fuck on my sleeve.
Yeah, keep it. It's fine.
So, when we were finishing up our last show of Alice in Zombieland, when we watched all the Resident Evil movies, if you haven't listened to that, please go back and do. We had a fuckload of fun watching all those things. We were having a lot of trouble figuring out like what show to move on to. Like we'd already done a couple animated shows, we'd done a movie series, and this one just always kind of kept circling around. Like I kind of want to do what we do in the shadows, and it just felt right. And now that I've watched the movie again and the first episode, which we'll talk about next week, I can say I think we made the right choice. This property is there's just so much to talk about in this property, and starting with the movie, like it's so fucking good. But before we get too far into it, I just want to kind of meter the group. Only 3 out of 4 of us had seen the movie before, and then out of the TV show, has anybody but me and then Drew seen it?
No. I have seen the first episode of the TV series. It's always been on my list to watch, but it's never been like something it's always sort of like fallen behind other things. So this has been great for like actually having a proper excuse to delve into it, because it's I love the movie, and every time I watch the movie I always forget going into it how funny it is. And yeah, again, watching it for this recording, there was times where I was having to pause it and go back about 5 minutes because I hadn't written any notes down because I was just laughing so much.
If you ask me if I've watched a movie in the past or show in the past 10 years and it's not Letterkenny, the answer is no.
What about reruns of The Office? You watch those still?
I've jumped off that. Kelly started doing Golden Girls after that, and now we're on the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Wow, I just don't understand you sometimes.
To be fair, we mix that in with repeat viewings of Lord of the Rings, so we got to mix it up a little bit.
As long as you know what you like, right?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just need comfort food. I don't know what to tell you.
I get it. So, what did you think of the movie, Joel?
It's fantastic.
Okay,
It's really, really good. I'm glad you're force introducing me to this, because like there's so much going right with this show. It's just good.
Cool. I have to say, I've watched the entire show now 3 times, not counting Wellington Paranormal, because that hasn't really been available stateside, so I haven't watched an episode of that, unfortunately, but I hear it is coming. But I've seen the actual show itself 3 times through, and it was that third watch that I'm like, no, this is our next Binge Buddy show. Because it's just, there are so many things that people like us really geek out about that are still prevalent in this show. And I think about when we go back to Venture Brothers, and we're going to start talking about the movie here in a second, but when we did Venture Brothers, we always talked about like things that happen in one episode that get paid off 8 episodes later. And even watching the pilot for next week, there's something that pays off. There's one joke and it pays off like 8 episodes later. And it's just, I'm so excited to see it. Like those threads are totally in this show, and I'm really excited to kind of show those to you guys and kind of share them. It's going to be fun. Very, very fun.
Yeah, this show is the long con. Like, there are so many bits that just come full circle when you least expect it.
Yeah.
I love things like that. Like I absolutely love things where they plan it in, like, you know, so much in advance so they can drop those little hints and things like that, and, you know, set up something that's going to pay off like episodes down the line. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this one a lot.
So now this isn't. I know we have a lot of shows on the ATH network. This is not a Behind the Hype episode, so we're not going to do quite the deep dive into the movie that we would say if we're covering it over on that show. But I just figured as a way to kind of intro ourselves to the new world that we're covering, we might as well start with the movie. Joel, since you came in the most blind, do you want to give us a very quick rundown of what happens in the movie? I feel like I want to see what you say.
It's real world vampires. Like that's what the movie is. It's somewhere between. So the movie is real world vampires, and the TV show is The Office vampires. That's the short and long of it. And these 4 vampires share a house, and it starts off with like this funny like team or house meeting to complain about cleaning of all things, and the whole show is about following them with a documentary crew, and they're going basically from place to place. You get relationship interactions with them and werewolves,
Yep, werewolves. Yep.
and
Not swearwolves.
Werewolves, not swearwolves.
but it's basically just following them around these whole interactions, and I don't know if there's really much more to do a synopsis of. I mean, there are story points and story beats I'm sure we'll go over, but those are all little bullet points of that overarching structure.
To me, a lot of the stuff where they're out of the flat, walking around the streets and everything like that, to me, it feels very much like they just picked up a camera, went out into the street, and just shot stuff and just riffed, and it was all sort of very improvisational. And I kind of feel like, you know, like you get that sort of sense of it, and it adds to that sort of mockumentary feel as well.
Yes.
Well, I mean, this movie was made for nothing. I mean, nothing with a different budget than, say, if you and I were to make something for nothing. It was still made for money, but very, very little. And I remember when it came out, like, it didn't get beyond New Zealand an international release. Like, they did GoFundMes, they did like ad campaigns, like fan campaigns. Like they had to really try to get this in front of more people's eyes than just New Zealand crowds. I mean, obviously it paid off, but it took a while.
Yeah.
I think we drink virgin blood because it sounds cool. I think of it like this. If you're going to eat a sandwich, you would just enjoy it more if you knew no one had fucked it. Apparently, because the other thing I love to do is deep dive into IMDb when I'm talking about a movie and just look at the trivia. Top on the list, about 125 hours of footage was shot. Most of it was improvisation from the cast.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. When you get people like Taika Waititi,
that down to 90 minutes took almost over a year.
I'm surprised it only took a year.
Yeah, right?
I mean, I would watch the Snyder cut of this.
My God.
I wonder how this thing is this like 90 minutes of everything that worked, or is there actually stuff out there that did work that just was cut out, or is it just the rest of it's just garbage and awful and it didn't work at all? Like, when they're improvising with real people on the street, they just like get chased. chased by a big gang of people.
Apparently, they wrote 150 pages of script, but chose not to show it to a single person involved in the film, both cast and crew. This was to keep things spontaneous and allow the actors to be surprised by events unfolding before their eyes. How fucking brilliant is that? Oh my god!
We're gonna write a script. We're not gonna show the actors it though.
Yeah. Nobody sees it, but we'll just have it in our head.
Throw it away.
Reference material. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's ridiculous. But it also kind of shows, like it kind of like that feels that way, like exactly what you guys were saying when they're walking around just the city. That's this dude just walking up to random people going, "I'm a vampire." You know Twilight. That's me.
Yeah, me too. That's me.
Oh man!
But that's
the little girl vampire as well. They go, "You gonna go get a pedophile?" Yeah, we're gonna go get a pedophile. And then like you see him later on, and he's just like a just draining that guy.
For me, I think then like
Jesus.
just doing the improv that paid off the best to me, and I'm not sure. Like obviously, like we'd have to talk to more people involved in the movie, but that moment where they're walking through and what's the idiot's name? The young one, the Deacon? No, not Deacon.
Nick.
When Nick is
the one that was just turned.
Yeah, the brand new one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Nick. Yeah.
So when Nick is telling everyone he's a vampire and he stumbles into a vampire hunter, the movie's done so well that you don't question the vampire hunter. As soon as the guy goes, "No, I'm a vampire hunter," you're like, "That guy's not fucking with you."
Yeah, and then Nick's like, yeah, fucking
Yeah, cool. I'll Skype you. But like, I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's such a cold call effect because you have no, like, it doesn't even come into your head that like vampire hunters would exist because, I mean, they're just like legend. No one believes it. But then fucking he's there with a stake in his hand and he's dead because he got hit by the stone lid of a coffin.
Yeah.
Like, it's just great. But I mean, that's the type of setup and like, not trigger, Jesus, payoff. I can't think today. Like that's the type of setup and payoff that you get with this show specifically, as well as the movie. Like it's just brilliant.
Oh yeah.
I think
I'll
what
be
I
the
really
odd
like-
man. I'll be the odd man out here. I did not expect him to actually be a vampire hunter. I thought he was just screwing with them. And
Oh, really?
It took me by surprise when it's like, oh yeah, that guy. Okay.
See, for me, it was
I
when he
actually
does
can't
like the
remember what I
no
felt
for
when I
real.
came
Like
down
when he
on that.
turned into like no for real, and then he kept like locked on him, and he wasn't smiling anymore. I'm like, oh, he's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, I think I
fuck
was just too
one of
busy
you.
laughing. I was just too busy
Yeah.
laughing. Like that whole Nick scene in general it's a highlight of the movie because it's one of those times where you're just like, yeah, he is the young arrogant dude who just thinks he's hot shit because he's young, and of course he's gonna do that.
I love the way he says chips as well. Can it chips?
Yeah.
My favorite
Also
food.
love that-
Can't eat. I'm
He was
over it.
so fine being a
fucking
vampire.
sucks.
So excited to be a vampire, loving it. You can't eat potato chips. This sucks. I hate it.
Yeah, I'm over it. I'm over being a vampire.
Well, no, it's chips in New Zealand is actually fries.
Well, yeah. But still, like, it's ridiculous. And I
You don't-
It's. I think the joke plays better in the TV show than it does in the movie, but I still enjoy it in both. But the barf you have after you eat human food
Oh my god.
fucking destroys me. There is a point in the show a few whiles later where a character decides to try pizza. It is the funniest thing. I can't. I don't want to spoil it for you, but when somebody says they're going to try pizza, it's going to be funny. I'll tell you that much.
Never thought I'd ever hear that said before, like ever.
But it's the fact that this show and like Taika and Jemaine Clement did such a good job world building, and like the movie kind of proves that, and it kind of takes the weight off the TV show from having to do its own world building. I mean, it's different because it's not New Zealand anymore; it's New York, but it's still very much the same world. And we'll talk more about that next week. But all that legwork and all of it is done in this movie, and it's because they did it that way. That, as Joel put it, the real world vampires. Like it made it a real place, and like it's there's New Zealand. Then look, they're gonna bump into some werewolves, and those are some goofy werewolves.
The mockumentary style helps a lot with that too, because it's a well trodden style now, and it's something that I got kind of tired of after The Office for a bit, but it's been long enough to where it feels fresh again, and the conceit of it being about these supernatural creatures breathes fresh life into it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like with District 9 as well. They use that mockumentary style in a science fiction setting, and that works really well and sort of stands out a bit more. So you take the mockumentary style and you put it into an otherworldly like world, one that it's not our world really, because you've got either aliens or you've got supernatural creatures, something like that, and all of a sudden it feels fresh as opposed to it's another mockumentary like The Office. Yeah,
it just kind of showed that like I don't know, like just because it's an idea that has been tried and true 100 times on TV shows doesn't mean that you can't do new things with it. And they did a very good job doing something new with it, because they'd already done zombies. They did that with Wreck, and then whatever they called it over here. Like they've done it with a lot of these various like supernatural things, and it's worked and not worked, and it's just, I think it all depends on who's doing it. And when you have somebody like Taika Waititi and Jemaine Clement behind the camera, it's gonna work. Like they know comedy. They've made some of the funniest shit I've seen, and I don't even know how long. And then they go and put Rhys Darby in it. And if you know anything about me, my opinion on almost anything is, well, it would have been better if you put Rhys Darby in it. Yeah. Yeah.
Everything he says is gold. That's a note I put in my thing. Everything that he says is just utter gold. Like,
I want to watch The Masked Singer New Zealand just because he's the host of it. Like I'm so on the Rhys Darby train.
I love the the bit with the why'd you get a combination lock? Well, I lost the key last time. So fucking good.
Just him shouting at all the werewolves to like put their to take their clothes off. Take those pants off if you want to keep them.
Yeah. It's like, what are you doing wearing jeans? They're just gonna rip. There's no giving them. Oh god! Like the first thing you take away from his all his dialogue, the first thing at the top of your list is always werewolves, not swearwolves. But there's still so much gold that comes out of there that you pick up more because you know the werewolves, not swearwolves things coming, so you're not sort of like you're not latching onto that, so you're hearing more of the stuff that happened, because there's some of the dialogue it's just like it's background. And it's like, you got to really pay attention to what he's saying, because other stuff's going on around it, and it's just amazing. Like, he's so good in that.
And it's just such a nothing part for him. Like, he only has I'm sure he was on set for all of, 5 days. And, well, maybe not, now that I'm thinking about that 100-some hours of raw material. Maybe he was on set for a month, who knows? But it's just such a small part, but he makes such an impact. Like, he's a lot of people's favorite thing in the movie just because of that werewolves not swearwolves thing. They almost got an entire movie sequel, but Taika just got way too big. That was going to be called Werewolves. Like, that was fucking hilarious. Even the title was hilarious. Like, anything with Rhys Darby near it is just a little bit funnier. Yeah. But Joel, since you hadn't seen this before, what did you think of the werewolves?
First thing, the vampires are real dicks to them. The entire time, they're always the instigators of all this.
Oh yeah,
it's like, we're traipsing. I smell werewolf. Oh, let's go screw with them a little bit. And they do such a good job needling them to where I love how they show them getting more feral as they get more agitated, and you start seeing the sort of animal eyes and kind of the bristling and dog acting. They all do a really good job of really getting into that feral vibe. It's they have enough funny, great moments between the werewolves not swearwolves, like you said, with the lock, and then at the end when they decide to try being buddy together. It is very, very good.
I do like that they keep doing the vampires keep pulling dog interaction, like the things that dogs would do, and saying that they do them, you're going to smell your own asshole or something. Oh, we don't smell our own one. We smell each other's.
Come on in. Just don't pee on anything.
Yeah. I am so excited for you guys to get to the werewolves episodes of the TV show.
Oh my god.
But like this movie feels like it could have been 4 episodes of a miniseries or TV show. You could see how it'd be set up, like introduction episode where Nick, outs them as vampires, and then next episode where it gets killed at the beginning, and then they've got the police to deal with, and then the werewolves episode. You could totally see it being broken up like that.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It feels a bit like there are like it feels like it is bits that are stitched together, like these sort of like episodic elements that are put together, and it comes across more like a documentary because of that as well, because it's these like different events that we will then sort of show you in the documentary.
Yeah, this is like Planet Earth of the supernatural.
Yeah.
But the good thing about it, and because it has that feel to it, I've been very adamant. I'm not a huge fan of the TV show or the movies making jumps to TV shows. Like, I've tried a lot of them. I haven't really loved a lot of them, but I give them a shot. This is one of the first ones where I'm like, nah, that one makes sense. Like, that would make a lot of sense to do as a TV show. And it's mostly because the movie already kind of felt like it. Like, so the jump wasn't that much. And then of course, they go get a new cast in the new one, and they bring in Matt Berry, and it's like, oh well, he'll solve any comedic hole problem you have because he's fucking hilarious.
Yep.
But
okay, I have to ask. Y'all have seen Toast of London, right?
I haven't seen all of it, but I have seen a few episodes.
I've seen a few episodes of it.
My damn it, that show is pure fucking gold. Like, I love Matt Berry so much.
I came to Matt Berry because of IT Crowd.
See, I came to him because of Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. That's the first thing I saw him in.
Sure.
And he was fantastic in that as well.
Well, we'll have to talk more about him next week. But I think we've said pretty much all that we can about this movie, at least as far as I wanted to talk about it today. The only one that we didn't really talk too much about, and maybe we can as a little wrap-up here, is we didn't talk about Stu. And Stu's everyone's favorite guy. Got to at least mention Stu a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I love how sort of like softly spoken he is, and then like at the masquerade ball thing, where he's like, "Hi, my name's Stu. I work in like business support," and she's like, "We can't hear you."
Yeah.
And then he explains more about what it is, and then you say the beast just go, "He's a virgin. He is a virgin."
I love that his actual name is Stu. It's Stu Rutherford. Like, that's his name.
For me, the thing that gets me the best in that entire sequence is his conversation with the zombie, and the zombie's just like trying to be polite. Yeah. Like you can see the zombie like doesn't want to offend him. Like he's like, I don't know how to ask this.
Are you pre-deceased?
Yeah, pre-deceased.
That's such a brilliant way of putting it.
I love the zombie is trying to be polite. Like, oh, I don't want to say the wrong thing here, but are you alive?
Yeah, Stu is a straight man for the show. So like he doesn't do too much that's overtly funny. It's the stuff that happens around it and how other people interact with him that's funny. Like the time where they have Nick up for trial, and they're like, the first charge is interacting and bringing a human in the house, and they're just like, well, it was Stu. Yeah, Stu was okay. Let's cross that off the list. And then when you presume Stu is dead from the eating of him from the werewolves, and Nick is being consoled by which one of them?
Diego.
Yeah, Diego.
Deacon,
Sorry, Deacon. And Deacon's trying to console him, but he's just basically talking about how he's being ripped apart and torn to shreds. And then he's like, I think that's how Stu would want to have been gone. I think that's how Stu would have wanted to be killed.
My favorite interaction with them is when he's showing him the internet, and Viago's like, I lost a really nice silk scarf in about 1912, and then Deacon goes, yes, now Google it.
So one quick aside question here. Did anybody else find it interesting how these different characters, clearly they're hundreds of years apart from each other, from being turned into a vampire, and you can kind of see the generational divide through all of it in how they interact with each other too. Like Peter, the 8,000-year-old vampire, whatever, who never shows up for anything but he listens to stuff, is kind of like the elderly person, and then the Vladislav is the 60-year-old basically, and and downward. So it's kind of this funny interaction of like these people have the knowledge based on the context of how long they've lived, and that feeds into stuff like the consoling to Nick, where like he has lived hundreds of years, so within context, this doesn't seem like a big thing, but Nick has only been a vampire for a few years, and that was his best friend, so it was like he was being torn apart from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does. Like, it just shows how much work went into it, and when you have something this goofy and ridiculous, you don't expect that much work to be there, but it's very apparent that it is. It works so well. All right, you guys want to move into favorite moments, favorite quotes, if you got them?
I'm happy to, yeah.
Okay, I'll go first. So I'm gonna go with a favorite moment. I had a quote, but Drew said it already, and I don't want to bring it up again because it was so goddamn funny though. And it was definitely the sandwich getting fucked.
The
line.
sandwich bit.
That's on my list as well.
Yeah, it's just too good. But I'll still got to keep with the Vladislav moment because it's still fucking hilarious. So there's a part in the beginning where he talks about how powerful he is, and then they talk a little bit later how he was defeated by the beast, and he just lost it. He doesn't have it anymore. He can still turn into animals, but he doesn't get the face right anymore. And that leads to my favorite moment of the movie when they're trying to murder Nick, and they're running through the place, and then you see the cat that he's turned into, but it just has Jemaine Clement's face on it.
No, it's like
Such a great sight gag, that.
Some shitty like Brown Jenkins throwback. Yeah. Oh my god. It's so great.
It's such a good sight gag, that, as well, because it's just so quick. It's like it's a blink and you miss it moment, but it is so funny.
And they hit that one line earlier just good enough to make sure you don't miss it. That whole like, yeah, you can do it. It doesn't get the faces right anymore. It's like they hit it and
exactly.
Move so quick.
Like you've completely forgotten about it, and then it's a wipe. Like it's like a background cross almost. It just hangs on it for a second, and then the Steadicam pans back to his back as he's running away. It's absolutely fantastic.
Oh god.
So that would be my favorite moment. Matt, what about you? What's yours?
So my favorite moment is when they're in the discussion, that meeting about everything, and Viago's talking about the sofa, and he says, there was some blood on my antique sofa, and then Vlad's like, the red one? Well, it's red now. And then, like, later on, when that pays off so good as well, because he's been talking about, put some newspaper down and things like that. Then later you see that when Viago's got the girl round on his, and he's putting newspaper and towels down, and then he just catches the main artery and it goes everywhere. That's what I love about this. It's so good at, like, it's setting you up with a joke to pay off another joke later as well, and it's a great comedy because of that, because the setups are jokes in themselves, so you don't pick up as this is setting me up for something. Whereas with drama, you can usually pick up on setups and payoffs and things like that because it's an obvious setup.
Man, that scene works so fucking well. Drew, what about you?
I mean, you've said a lot of them already. I think, man, yeah, when they go to the ball and Jackie's there, but she's already dressed and she's a vampire, but you're like, oh, she dressed up as a vampire. I was like, no, I actually am a vampire. Like that, the first time I saw that, and I remembered it when I saw it again last night because I rewatched it. You're like, oh, I thought she was just dressed as a vampire. But no, actually, she is a vampire. Well, how did that happen? Fucking Nick. He turned her. Because first off, like, he's not a dick, so he doesn't draw it out and make people, like, wait for it. It's just like, I'll turn you, whatever. And just, Deacon's just, like, all the wind just out of his sails because of it. Like, that is a great moment for me. But I think my favorite is when... fucking Taika, like Viago hypnotizes the cops and they walk in and they're still like
so fucking good.
Nick's up in the corner, like Deacon is floating, right? And Vlad is like still holding on to him, and they're all just like, you will not see anything out of the ordinary. So they're just having a conversation. They're all like, yeah, no. And then they're getting ready to leave, and it's like, well, let's follow them. Let's see what other safety hazards we have. Like, it's just that whole scene is gold. It is
My favorite
just
bit in
great.
that is the bit in the basement where they're talking about the vampire hunter. It's like and he's like, he's not gonna wake up for it. He's gonna sleep terribly. He's gonna wake up. He's not having a good time here.
It was great.
No smoke detectors again either. And it's like, yes, there are. Oh, yes, there are.
I can see why they got their own show. Like that makes sense.
I can't wait to watch that. Actually, I'm gonna see if I can find that because that's brilliant.
But Joel, you haven't gone yet.
Yeah, so I've got a different scene than my favorite quote, but I love the whole interaction with the police throughout the household. Like they're in this macabre mansion and all this morbid crap sitting around them. My quote is from actually a part of the movie I didn't care for as much, the part where they're being introduced to new technology. So there's a part where Stu is showing them the internet, and he says, if we push images, then we can see pictures of virgins. And then Vladislav responds with, I don't think she's a virgin if she's doing that.
Yep.
That it's such a good line.
It's fucking brilliant, that.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, when they're watching the video of the sunset as well. Sunrise, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so good too. God, it's almost like it's a funny movie. All right, so I think we've done it. That would be our intro to who, what, when, where, and why we do in the shadows. It's still my favorite title of any show I've ever made. And John doesn't hate me for all the podcast stuff on the internet either, so I feel like we're okay. So it's definitely staying that title, and anyone who questioned it is wrong now. I think we should do a quick round of plugs, and we should say goodbye. The very first plug, of course, is tune in next week for the first episode of the TV show here back on Binge Buddies, or Who, What, When, Where, and Why We Do in the Shadows. And then starting up next week or the week after that is Jackie Chan month at Behind the Hype, and we are going to dive into a very, very large window of Jackie Chan's work from way long ago to rather current, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And please join us as we find out how little we know about Jackie Chan's work as we went through his IMDb, and it's like, wow, we've seen like nothing here. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then I usually will do a plug here for Demon Days, but we have somebody else from Demon Days here. So Drew, why don't you give a plug to your show?
Hi. So Demon Days with a Z, not the Gorillaz album. Go check it out. It's four thirsty tieflings walking around trying to figure out if they are part of the problem or the solution for what could be the end of the world. There's a lot of things going on. But I play Yusuf. He's a paladin of the ancients, and it's three tieflings now, not four. Come check it out. We lost the fourth.
Very sad. Had to move to Tennessee. Joel, what about you? What you plugging these days?
I am a part of a video game podcast called Super GG Radio. We talk about video games and all things adjacent. We actually focus a lot on games pre-release and indies. So if you want to get an idea of like stuff under the current from the bitch stuff, it's a good spot to check that out. And if you do check us out, keep your ear to the ground because we're working on some pretty cool ideas that we should be ready to announce within the next month.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Matt, do you have anything to plug?
So I'm gonna hopefully start getting to the right headspace to return to do an actual writing now. Like being in my own house, having my own space is, funnily enough, helping to get rid of a lot of stress. Who knew?
There.
But yeah, so I'm gonna at some point gonna try and write this article. I've done all the research for. I just need to actually start writing it. And it's about the Michael Mann cinematic debut Heat, which is a fantastic film, which I would really recommend you check out. But yeah, I will hopefully... Did I say Heat?
You said Heat.
Thief.
That makes more
Jesus.
sense.
Yeah. Thief. Where did Heat come from? I've already written an article about Heat.
I was going to say, like, cool. I'm so glad you're writing that again.
Thief. Jesus Christ. Well, that's the biggest fail on a plug ever.
You remember early in the episode where you said, I'm going to leave your fuck-ups in to make you look bad? Bye.
Womp womp.
Just gonna say goodbye now. We can say goodbye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Werewolves, not swearwolves.